Jesse tossed a fish into the water, but Willy did something unexpected. Instead of eating it, Willy grabbed it with his mouth and brought it right back. Jesse figured Willy just didn't know how to eat fish, so he decided to demonstrate. But Willy shook his head and opened his mouth wide. He wanted Jesse to feed him directly. Jesse was scared, but he took a breath and tossed the fish right in. Willy dove underwater, satisfied, and shot out a little spout. With no one around, Jesse's confidence started kicking in. He slowly reached his hand out, wanting to touch Willy. And to everyone's surprise, the so-called ferocious killer whale didn't hurt him at all. He actually seemed to love it. When Jesse got up to leave, Willy lingered like he didn't want him to go. But why was Willy so drawn to Jesse in the first place? It all started 2 nights before, when Jesse accidentally wandered into the aquarium after hours. A bolt of lightning flashed, and a massive shadow appeared in the water. Jesse bolted in pure terror, but his curiosity was too strong to ignore. He pressed his face to the glass and stared, and Willy had him completely hooked. The next day, Jesse came back for Willy's show, and waited forever. Willy never showed up. Turns out Willy had such a bad temper that no one could tame him, so there was no show to speak of. Disappointed, Jesse wandered back inside and pulled out his harmonica. The moment Willy heard it, he swam straight toward Jesse with pure joy, letting out a happy call. Those rough, unpolished notes cut right through the water and woke something deep inside him, a memory of the open ocean. Jesse was beside himself with excitement. That night, he snuck out alone and made his way back to the aquarium. He sat by the pool and played his harmonica. Drawn by the music, Willy leaped out of the water in pure excitement. But the splash caught the security guard's attention, and Jesse took off running. He slipped and plunged into the 10-meter deep pool. He blacked out almost instantly and began sinking toward the bottom. Like a predator sensing prey, the truck-sized orca slowly closed in with his mouth wide open. He bit down on Jesse's arm, but instead of swallowing him, he pushed him gently to the edge of the pool. Jesse came to, completely stunned. The one who saved him was the very same creature everyone called a monster. To repay Willy for saving his life, Jesse showed up the next morning with a big bag of fish. But when Jesse tossed them in, Willy wouldn't eat. He wanted Jesse to hand feed him like before. Then Jesse made a silly face, and Willy copied it perfectly, leaving trainer Ray completely speechless. Because ever since Willy was captured, no one had ever been able to feed him up close, let alone play with him. Seeing the bond between Jesse and Willy, Ray wanted in, so she tried her luck. Willy dove underwater and waved her off with his tail, a clear no. That stung Ray's pride quite a bit. Jesse also learned from Ray that park owner Dial had always planned to use Willy as a money-making machine. But since no one could tame him, the park's business kept tanking, and Willy's situation kept getting worse. To make life better for Willy, Jesse started training with Ray to learn how to put on a show. Whatever command Jesse gave, Willy nailed it every single time. The two became an unstoppable duo. And Jesse, who couldn't even swim, was now riding Willy through the water like it was nothing. Dial saw all this and his eyes lit up. He could smell the money. He announced a grand orca show. If Willy could perform, he'd escape being sold off and even get a bigger pool. If nothing went wrong, well, something was about to go very wrong. Kids kept slapping the glass, and Willy was getting more and more agitated. He swam up to Jesse, his enormous body trembling, his eyes full of fear and helplessness. But Jesse didn't understand what Willy was trying to say. He stood up and signaled Willy to get ready, but Willy shook his head side to side and refused. Jesse froze, watching Willy swim away, his excitement completely crushed by reality. Jesse felt completely powerless, and the relentless banging on the glass finally pushed Willy past his breaking point. He began ramming the glass full force, sending kids screaming and running in every direction. Guests scattered and rushed to get refunds, but Dial wasn't even mad, because he'd already decided to have Willy killed. Turns out Dial had taken out a massive insurance policy on Willy. If Willy died in an accident, Dial would cash out big. That same night, a strange light appeared at the bottom of the pool. Jesse went to check it out and discovered someone had deliberately sabotaged the tank, trying to drown Willy alive. Jesse rushed to tell Randolph right away, but by the time Randolph arrived, the damage was already beyond repair. To save Willy, Jesse proposed releasing him back into the ocean. Randolph had long been fed up with Dial's dirty tricks. He agreed on the spot. The two brought in a crane, hoisted Willy into a net, and with everything they had, managed to get him onto a truck. But halfway there, fallen trees blocked the road and forced them to take a detour. The prolonged time out of water was draining Willy fast. The moisture in the corners of his eyes made it impossible to tell if it was seawater or despair. The whole way, Jesse never stopped stroking Willy and talking to him softly. The ocean was right there, but Dial had been waiting for them the entire time. Randolph floored it and drove the truck straight into the water, but Willy was barely hanging on. He had no strength left to fight. At that moment, Dial's men caught up and a brawl broke out. Jesse's voice calling out to him finally lit the fire of survival inside Willy. He fought through the exhaustion, twisted his body, and slowly began swimming toward the open sea. But Dial already had a fishing boat ready to recapture him. Jesse saw this and sprinted to the other side of the breakwater, signaling Willy to follow. When they reached the shore, Jesse and Willy shared one last goodbye. This separation, for both of them, might just be forever. Jesse swallowed his grief and ran all the way to the top of the breakwater. He raised his hand, and Willy knew exactly what it meant. Willy gathered every last ounce of strength and launched himself into the sky. That leap didn't just clear the breakwater, it shattered the chains of fate. Dial stood there with his jaw on the floor. As Willy splashed into the open water, a brand new life was about to begin. Everyone erupted in cheers. In the moment Willy cleared that breakwater, it wasn't just a whale returning to the sea that was set free. It was Jesse's own shattered heart finally finding its way back to wholeness. Most love in this world is rooted in possession. Only the deepest bonds have the courage to let go.